Hello and a very warm welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to Midday News, which is coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Amina Jibril. Now, a quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and free to air on Nigecomsat. The Kwara State University Malete has said that the recent one-year ban on admission into KWASU's law program does not affect students currently running their programs in its Faculty of Law. The acting director, University Relations, Dr. Saidat Aliyu, disclosed this in a statement in Ilorin. Aliyu said the ban was as a result of the decision of the Council for Legal Education to sanction KWASU for commencing the law program in 2018 with only the approval of the National Universities Commission. And the Nigeria Labour Congress, NLC, has declared it would embark on a nationwide protest against the proposed 50% telecom tariff hike announced by the Nigerian Communications Commission, NCC, on February 4th in a communique signed by its national president, Joe Ajaero. The decision was taken at the National Administrative Council meeting of the NLC on January 29th. Similarly, civil society organizations have pledged their support for the nationwide protest. Failure to reverse the hike, Ajaero warned, might result in a nationwide boycott of telecommunication services. And in Imo State, the state government has reinforced its commitment to improving healthcare delivery through technology. A three-day training program focused on digitizing data management in all 305 basic healthcare provision fund facilities, organized in partnership with the World Bank, has begun in Owerri, the state capital. Our correspondent was there now reports.
The fifth edition of the Lake Chad Basin Governors Forum is meant to address the shared challenges that transcend borders through rebuilding the Lake Chad Basin, consolidating gains, commitment to peace, security and sustainable development across the Lake Chad Basin. According to the Nigeria's
We sincerely apologize for the mix-up in that report. Vice President of Nigeria, Kashim Shettima, has flagged off the fifth edition of the Lake Chad Basin Governors Forum in Maiduguri, Borno State. Governors from the northeast region of Nigeria and those from the Lake Chad Basin countries of Niger, Cameroon and Chad are attending the forum on the North-East Development Commission. Global TV correspondent Idris Jibrin reports that the forum is being hosted by the Yobe state government.
The fifth edition of the Lake Chad Basin Governors Forum is meant to address the shared challenges that transcend borders through rebuilding the Lake Chad Basin, consolidating gains, commitment to peace, security and sustainable development across the Lake Chad Basin. According to the Nigeria's Vice President, the federal government under President Bola Tinubu has remained consistent in improving regional collaboration across the Lake Chad region.
This is the challenge before us, to transform the demographic dividend into a force for good. Power's true essence lies not just in its possession, but in its application. Hard power may secure borders, but it is soft power through diplomacy, culture, and shared values that builds bridges and binds us together. This is the vision that the Lake Chad Governors Forum seeks to pursue, whether through our collective commitment to the African Continental Free Trade Area or our contributions to advancing the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. We must adopt partnerships that benefit us all. The choices we make today will echo through generations, shaping the future of this region. What binds us together supersedes whatever that divides us.
Shettima urged member states of the basin to collectively face their common enemy without necessarily considering their political differences.
Element to what we can achieve collectively. Its localization through the territorial action plans highlights the importance of ownership and inclusion in our stabilization efforts. Yobe State has directly benefited from the regional strategy for stabilization, recovery and resilience framework through infrastructure rehabilitation, livelihood restoration, and community cohesion projects. This reinforces the critical need for continued partnerships and innovative resource mobilization to amplify these successes.
Finally, I'd like to express my sincere appreciation to all excellencies, royal highnesses that are here, and other distinguished guests and personalities who have honored us with their presence today. It is truly a privilege to share this historic occasion with you, and I'm confident that through your collective efforts, we will continue to build a brighter, more resilient future for the people of the Lake Chad region. Once again, thank you all for your invaluable support. May Allah bless all of us and guide our efforts towards lasting peace and stability.
In collaboration with national, regional and institutions, the Northeast is committing huge sum of resources in rebuilding the region hitherto affected by insurgencies and economic disturbances. The Lake Chad region has been severely threatened by a number of challenges within the last couple of years. Expert believes that member states are holding the key to combating the threats. However, within the next 3 days, these governors and other concerned stakeholders will brainstorm on various ways to improving peace and security, as well as economic development of the region. From Maiduguri, Idris Jibrin reporting for Global Television News.
Labour Martyrs, the Nigerian Labour Congress, has issued a stern warning to state governments and other employers of labour, threatening decisive action against those who fail to implement the 70,000 Naira national minimum wage and the corresponding salary adjustment by the end of the first quarter of 2025. The warning was made by the president of the Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities, Muhammad Ibrahim, during the association's national leadership retreat in Abuja. Ibrahim, who also serves as the national internal auditor of the NLC, emphasized that state governments and institutions delaying or manipulating wage payment would face serious consequences. And the Federal High Court at Ado-Ekiti Division struck out the suit filed by the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, against activist lawyer Dele Farotimi, bordering on cybercrime. Justice Babs Kuewumi struck out the suit following notice of discontinuation by the Police Council. However, Farotimi's lawyer, Adeyinka Olumide Fusika of the Senior Advocate of Nigeria, described the discontinuation of the suit as a missed opportunity for the court to correct the police on the use of the Cybercrime Act. And the Chief of the Air Staff, Air Marshal Hassan Abubakar, says that the Nigerian Air Force aims to have over 30,000 personnel by 2027. This was as he reaffirmed the Air Force's commitment to national security, vowing to bring justice to criminals operating in ungoverned spaces across the country. Abubakar disclosed that the NAV had seen an 86% increase in manpower over the last 13 years, with the number of airmen and airwomen doubling since 2013. Governor Caleb Moftuang of Plateau State has sacked 5 commissioners, among them 2 who were recently recalled from suspension. The governor immediately announced 5 commissioner nominees. The State Commissioner for Information, Musa Ashams, confirmed the development. Ashams did not give details on the reasons for the governor's action. Meanwhile, the Nigerian Air Force, under the air component of Operation Hadankai, has neutralized a yet-to-be-known number of Boko Haram terrorists during an air interdiction in Degbewa and Chikedi, Gwoza local government area of Borno State. It was reported that the precision airstrikes targeted high-profile terrorist leaders following intelligence report of a mass gathering of insurgents in the area around 8 p.m. The air raid hit camps under the command of Ali Ngulde, a known Boko Haram leader. Military sources revealed that several terrorists were eliminated while others sustained injuries during the attack. You're watching the live broadcast of Midday News on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja, when Midday News returns. The EU powers 25 Plateau health centers with solar energy. We shall bring you details of that report as well as business, sports and foreign after this break. Please stay with us. Welcome back to Midday News on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja, and now on business news. The transmission company of Nigeria says its tower T195 along the Ugwaji-Makurdi 330 kilovolt transmission line was vandalized. TCN's General Manager, Public Affairs Ndidimba in Abuja said that the vandalism took place at Watuolu village, Otunkong, in Ado local government area of Benue State. Mba, however, said that the vandalism was thwarted by the vigilance of the community members who at about 3 a.m. noticed suspicious activities around the tower. She said that the community members promptly apprehended one of the suspected vandals while the others escaped and handed him over to the police. Coca-Cola Euro-Pacific Partners Belux has launched a major recall of multiple products across Belgium, Luxembourg and Netherlands and the UK due to the detection of elevated levels of chlorate rather. The recall, conducted in consultation with food safety authorities, highlights concerns over potential health risks associated with excessive exposure to the chemical. Some of the affected products are billed to expire in 2025 and 2026. And the number of cows slaughtered daily in Lagos State has dropped from 5,000 to 3,000, according to the Lagos State Butchers Association. The association's patron, Alhaji Bamidele Kazim, disclosed this in an interview with the newsmen in Lagos. Kazim says the decline was due to the country's ongoing socio-economic challenges. He noted that the drop in cattle slaughter began in 2015 due to the Boko Haram insurgency and worsened with the current exchange rate crisis and inflation. And a significant majority of Nigerian households and businesses believe that the current inflation rate is high. This is according to the Central Bank of Nigeria's CBN Inflation Expectations Report for December 2024. The report reveals that 83.5% of households and 80.6% of businesses perceive inflation to be at an elevated level, reflecting the persistent economic pressures faced by consumers and enterprises alike. Meta has agreed to pay President Donald Trump $25 million to settle a 2021 lawsuit he filed claiming he was wrongfully censored by Facebook and Instagram after the U.S. Capitol riot. The company said. The Wall Street Journal first reported the settlement of the suit brought against Meta and its chief executive, Mark Zuckerberg, in what was seen as a victory for Trump. According to people familiar with the agreement, the journal said $22 million of the payment will go towards funding Trump's future presidential library, with the remainder covering legal fees and payments to other plaintiffs in the case. The European Union announced the launch of solar projects to ensure that healthcare facilities in Plateau State have uninterrupted access to reliable electricity for medical equipment, thereby improving healthcare services for local communities. The project, funded by the EU in partnership with the Plateau State government, highlights the importance of clean energy in enhancing the quality of life, particularly in rural healthcare settings, according to a statement issued by the EU Commission in Abuja. Speaking at the launch of the Solar for Health project, the head of Green and Digital Economy at the EU delegation in Nigeria and ECOWAS, Inga Stefanovic, reaffirmed the EU's commitment to supporting Nigeria's energy sector through initiatives like Solar for Health. From that, now we move on to the foreign scene, where a passenger plane and a military helicopter collided mid-air near Ronald Reagan National Airport, prompting a major emergency response and the suspension of all airport operations. The incident occurred at around 9 p.m. as reported by the Federal Aviation Administration. The passenger plane was carrying 60 passengers and 4 crew members, while the military helicopter had 3 personnel on board. 19 bodies have been recovered so far, a law enforcement source says. The Democratic Republic of Congo President Felix Tshisekedi has insisted that his troops are mounting a vigorous response to Rwanda-backed fighters advancing in the country's perennially troubled east, while criticizing the international community's silence and inaction. The weeks-long offensive by the M23 armed group, which has seized vast swathes of Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo, including most of the key cities of Goma, has prompted calls for crisis talks and warnings of a looming humanitarian disaster. The DRC's mineral-rich east has been plagued by decades of conflict involving numerous armed groups, partly linked to the aftermath of the 1994 Rwandan genocide. Meanwhile, Congolese President Felix Tshisekedi has vowed to restore government authority in the east, where Rwanda-backed M23 rebels have seized much of the city of Goma and are reportedly advancing south to seize more territory. In a televised address to the nation, he said a vigorous and coordinated response against what he called terrorists was underway. He criticized the international community for inaction and for not doing enough in the wake of the escalating security crisis. U.S. President Donald Trump has ordered the construction of a migrant detention facility in Guantanamo Bay, which he says would hold as many as 30,000 people. He said the facility at the U.S. Navy base in Cuba, which would be separate from its high-security military prison, would house the worst criminal illegal aliens threatening the American people. Guantanamo Bay has long been used to house immigrants, a practice that has been criticized by some human rights groups. Russia has stepped up its military withdrawal from Syria, removing vehicles and containers from its key Tartus port on the country's Mediterranean coast. Analysts have suggested after the fall of the Assad regime in December, verified footage showed columns of Russian vehicles moving north towards the port. Satellite images subsequently showed military hardware being stored there. But new images published by Planet Labs showed that much of the materials has now disappeared after the departure of vessels linked to the Russian military. It comes as Russian officials held frank discussions with the new government in Damascus. And now to the world of sports. Nigerian striker Victor Boniface is set to trade European glory for the riches of the Saudi Pro League, as Al Nassr has reportedly sealed a blockbuster 60 million euros deal to lure the Bayer Leverkusen forward to the Middle East. This transfer, which escalated from whispers to an imminent reality in just 48 hours, is set to shake up both the Bundesliga and Saudi football landscapes. Victor Boniface was instrumental in Leverkusen's historic double triumph last season, delivering 21 goals and 10 assists in just 34 games. Thousands of fans have filled the stadium in the Indian capital Delhi as Virat Kohli makes his much-anticipated return to domestic cricket after more than 12 years. The 36-year-old star batter has turned out for Delhi in the Ranji Trophy match against the Railways team at the well-attended Arun Jaitley Stadium. Kohli's return follows the National Cricket Board's directive for contracted players to play domestic cricket after India's 3-1 Border Gavaskar Trophy loss to Australia. It also comes amid a personal lean patch in Test cricket, where the former Indian captain has struggled for consistency in recent years. On that note, we come to the end of Midday News on Global Television. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365, on Star Times channel 276, and free-to-air on Nightcomsat. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms now showing on your screen using a Global TV NG. I am Amina Jibril. Thank you for watching and have a good afternoon.